especially black and brown people. As a white man, I do not agree with this, and I am on my black and brown brothers and sisters' side. Fight the good fight. Know that I am part of the resistance. Let's fight the power.
Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
First things first.
Things first, it's the DU General, Money B. I'ma put you up on the schedule. 6 to 9, 8 weekdays, not too serious. We got a lot to talk about, so much to pedal through. Unapologetically progressive. Tune to KBLA 1580 to get the mess. We're your ancestors' favorite radio station. First black on talk radio, left side of the nation. Me and Dominique DiPrima go way back. Tag Smiley making sure the station stays black. Discussing all the issues in our community. We're hosted black and brown and others find unity. So let's talk about it. Maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the move. So we tune in. The first things first with the queen of Black Talk Radio, Dominique DiPrima. Go sis.
First things first.
KBLA Talk 1580. Good morning. Good morning and God bless. I'm Dominique DiPrima. This show is called First Things First, and my very first thing today and every day is giving thanks and giving praises and asking for blessings from the Most High, asking for the blessings of the ancestors and the elders. And let's go. Let's go. We got a lot to talk about and a lot to do as usual. This is the day that we call Talking Point Tuesday. The way it goes down on a Talking Point Tuesday, aside from debunking the BS, which is really something we do every day, but we take specific care on a Tuesday to make sure we know what we're saying, why we're saying, that we've followed the money, and that we are serving ourselves and our morals, ethics, community with the things we say. Hour 2, we go national, international, and beyond. And in the third hour, we do a deep dive with a hot topic or interesting person, and sometimes it's both. And so today I'm really, really excited because we are going to have Keon Harold in the studio. He is just an incredible jazz trumpeter, hip-hop, R&B trumpeter, and creative artist, vocalist, Grammy winner. I'm sure you know. But if you don't know, well, now you know. Definitely going to want to tap in for that. That is in hour 3 of the show today. Right now, it's me, you, and the microphone, telephone, 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. If you want to say a thing about a thing, I'm here for you. And, well, I'm looking at this polling, so I have a little question for you. Maybe it's a 2-part question. The polling is about the governor's race and the presidential race and contenders. So about the governor's race, the latest polling says that no, but it's kind of a wide open landscape. I mean, we knew that to an extent because when Kamala Harris said she would not run for governor, it was kind of anybody's race. But I assumed that certain people would have a big advantage. I thought Villaraigosa, because he was chair of the Democratic convention the second time that Obama was president. I thought that because he was mayor of Los Angeles, he would be a higher ranking. But when you look at this polling, it says Katie Porter has a very slight lead in who voters choose. She's in double digits. It's like 17%, I think. And then the other person was Chad Bianco, who's literally a former member of the Oath Keepers, which is sort of like a version of the Proud Boys. He's at 10%. Of course, it's very early. People haven't spent money yet. And then it goes, Becerra and Villaraigosa, who have pretty high up numbers. Koulanaki's dropped out. She's running for something else. I think treasurer instead. In any case, interesting that this polling is showing that there's no clear front runner. So one of the question is, do you have a favorite? And if you do, are you really even tracking it at this point? I think governor is going to be super important to cover these years of this current administration and what they're going to do. So even though governor is always an important position, I feel like it's more important than usual. And then the other thing that I see in this polling is that the majority of Americans do not want, Californians, I should say, do not want Vice President Kamala Harris to run for president. And they prefer Newsom over Harris when it comes to president. Now, I think part of that may be the fact that Newsom's more in the headlines right now. He is trolling the pants off of our president. He's leading this redistricting fight, and it's a national conversation. So that means that he has a lot of current visibility, which means he'll be on people's minds. It could be that, but I have a feeling that it is more about knowing that the Republicans are going to probably choose a white man after going with Kamala Harris, and that reluctantly going with Kamala Harris, I should say, most of them, but that they don't want to relitigate 2024. I don't either. That's the reason why I said I would prefer she doesn't run. I think she would make a better president than any of the presidents pretty much that we've had in my lifetime. But I don't, with the exception maybe of Jimmy Carter. I don't know. I'm saying that because I'm thinking of Palestine at the moment. But I don't think any of us want to relitigate 2024, and except for Republicans, because I feel they will win, even though the rumblings are getting louder and louder that they cheated. But we'll go deeper into that when we get some proof. In the meantime, there's too much. I think there's just too much Biden baggage, not just because she was vice president under President Biden, but because she did not jump out and strongly differentiate herself from him. And I get why. It might not have even been possible, right, to do both jobs at once, because the vice president's job is to protect the president. So if she was to be out there, well, I don't agree with him on this and that, she might have had better results as a presidential candidate, but it would have created problems as president, as VP. I don't know all that I don't know, but I agree with the polling. This is from Emerson College, which found that Katie Porter was in the lead. Not that I'm supporting her per se, but just that people, that's for the governor's race, excuse me. So when it comes to the presidential race, they're showing Newsom with a lead. And it's not commanding, but it's significant. So I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. But right now, to me, that's California. If you cannot lock down your home state, I don't see how you're going to get chosen by the Democratic Party. Honestly, don't know that Newsom can either, because they may be sick of California right about now. And by they, I don't just mean the Democratic Party. I mean Democrats in general, the national scene. It might not be that right moment. Good morning to the KBLA 1580 chat room. Conversations going on all the time in the comment section, and I'm streaming live right now, so you can tap in and see me at KBLA1580.com. KBLA1580.com. Yeah, Paul says it's early and Kamala hasn't moved yet. That's true, but I think it's going to be tough just because of what she's facing in pertaining to 2024, not even moving forward. And because Republicans had such a long ramp of trashing her in social media and in the press, because she ran in 2020 and then in 2024, the misinformation and disinformation campaigns against her have been very intense and fairly effective. That said, I'm not convinced that in a fair fight she wouldn't win, even in spite of misogyny, sexism, white supremacy, anti-blackness. E.C. Courtney says, new party, new agenda for the people, truth and justice. Okay, well, then that new party needs to be getting busy, really busy right now. I don't want to hear about it in 2027, 2028. I don't even know how you build a party for a national presidential contender, a real contender by 2028. But I will respect it more if I see a lot right now than if I see a lot in a year. So the other question is, should she run? Should Kamala run in 2028? And does that polling impact how you see things at all? And where are you? Tavis Smiley on his show, which follows mine every day from 9 to noon Pacific, was very clear on where he stands with the Governor Newsom in this state. And I know he's not alone. I myself have questioned Newsom a lot on this show because of moves he's made, starting with, he said he was going to appoint a black woman senator to replace Kamala Harris. And though we could say literally he did, because he appointed LaFonza Butler, he appointed someone at the last second, someone who would not serve permanently in that seat, and failed to appoint Barbara Lee. So even though I think Alex Padilla is a fine senator, that was him reneging on a promise that he made to us, black Californians, black women, and he failed to make good on that. For Tavis's point, he signed the reparations bill of then Assemblywoman Shirley Weber, but then set up the following reparations bills for failure. And you can point fingers at the Black Caucus, Congressional Black Caucus, all you want, and certainly they have responsibility and culpability for their decision. But, the chess master in that game was the governor. And he let us down, abandoned us on that issue last year. So I think there's that. And then you've got this wild swinging of agendas where he's cozying up to Tucker Carlson 1 minute, and the next minute he's a champion for Democrats, the standard bearer for the party. And I say that while at the same time I'm very, very much aware that I am loving the troll iteration of our governor. I'm loving the way he's ruffling the feathers of the folks on Fox and elsewhere. As they say, he's immature, which is hilarious, out one side of their mouth, while out the other side of the mouth they are praising their president, who is the king of all caps, to the moon and back. Let's go to Ron calling from Richmond. Ron called me at 800-920-1580, and I invite you to do the same.
Good morning, my baby, your radio friend. How are you?
Good morning. I'm blessed. How you doing?
I'm blessed, too. I can't complain. Just thankful to be here. Yeah, I got to find out, what time did your boy your boy's show come on, that the dude he had on yesterday? What time his show come on? I'm going to highlight him for a few.
Oh, you're talking about James Farr. The Conversation Live with James Farr. He should be thanking you for giving him plugs the next day. He comes on at 10 o'clock on Saturday mornings with the Conversation Live. Yeah, Altadena Rising. He comes on at 10 every Saturday.
Yeah. I've been following that. I mean, I've been listening to him, because you have them on your show several times.
Yeah. He's a contributor.
I was listening. Yeah, I was listening to you. You said he was lightweight, doing some lightweight Kamala Harris hating. I was like, come on, man. Yeah, come on, man. I'm gonna stick up for my girl. Yeah, I didn't know for a long time. I didn't know that she grew up in Berkeley, and that's where I grew up. I told you that, so.
Yeah, you told me that. I mean, I think Berkeley and Oakland, East Bay. But here's the thing. I got so much hate yesterday on Twitter. People saying, certain people, ADOS people, that were supporting James and his point of view, which is fine. But it's just funny to me. It's the same thing that happens with Jay French, the rapper. It's like, okay, you don't agree with me and you agree with them and you want to trash me. I had some dude calling me all out my name in the DMs. But they're so stupid. Yeah, I'm name calling and I don't believe in it. But they're so stupid because they don't understand if it wasn't for me inviting them, neither Jay French nor James Farr would be on the doggone mic at all on this radio station. Yeah. And if it wasn't for me posting it, they wouldn't be on my Twitter, fool, nor on my Instagram. So clearly you are not. The one guy said, how dare he question her? Look, dumb. It's my job to question him. It's literally my job to ask questions. So that's how I dare question him. Been doing it for a few decades. Catch up, bruh.
Facts. Y'all better stop playing with Dominique DiPrima, man. She is not to be messed with. You understand me? This is the Bay, and y'all know how we get down. So y'all put some respect on Dominique DiPrima, man. Straight up. This is the Bay. She know how we get down out of San Francisco, man. Stop playing. But no disrespect to your, shout out to that dude. I enjoy
James is a friend
and a rapper.
James, you're talking about Jay French, yeah. Well, James is a friend, and his wife is a friend, and I would, Jay French is also a friend. It's just funny to me because I don't know if you guys agree with everything your friends say always, but I don't. So, it's also ironic because someone like James, I mean, he got a radio show of his own from coming on my radio show and me recommending him. So why would... Oh, brothers, don't be so basic. Look, Ron, stay with me if you want. I appreciate the call. We'll continue this conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind: to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my two sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-687-7979. That's 800-687-7979. 800-687-7979.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. LA LA County's new Justice Care and Opportunities Department, or JCOD, is here to support justice-involved individuals and their families. The JCOD Support Center is now taking calls at 1-833-LACJCOD. That's 1-833-522-5263. Available 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. The Support Center is your one-stop shop for re-entry issues and court support. They offer court reminders, connections to local services, transportation assistance for housing, court appearances, and childcare. The JCOD hotline provides personalized help to connect you with services that you need. And don't forget to check out justiceconnect.org for more information. Remember, it's free and available every day at 1-833-522-5263. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Are you ready to be a part of the conversation that will help shape our nation's future? Get ready to join us for the Left Coast Forum, Saturday, October 25th at LA Trade Tech, where progressive voices will come together to tackle the issues that matter most to working families across Los Angeles and beyond. From economic justice to climate action, from healthcare to housing, we're bringing together the brightest minds and most passionate advocates for real solutions and real change. With workshops, 2 major keynote addresses, and a closing reception with great music and good food. It's the Left Coast Forum, where your voice matters and your ideas take action. Saturday, October 25th at LA Trade Tech. Brought to you by KBLA Talk 1580 and the LA Progressive. The future won't wait, and neither should you. Mark your calendar now to be there and be heard. Stay tuned to KBLA Talk 1580 for more details.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DiPrima right now.
Right now, we're back to you, too, because the phone lines are open, 800-920-1580, and it's just me and you. We got a lot to cover, but I love hearing what's on your mind. And I asked a couple questions. Do you care at this point who is going to be our next governor? And do you think Kamala Harris should run again? This polling would suggest not, but it's early. And also, polls are not always right, as we learned the hard way the last 2 election cycles. But Ron from Richmond called. He was talking about the lively convo I had with James Farr, who writes for the LA Progressive and has his own show Saturdays from 10 o'clock on every Saturday morning. And we got into a little lively convo, but he also kind of called you out, Ron, so I wanted to make sure you had time to land your point here.
Oh yeah, I'm a land. You know, I'm just hooked on the show. You know, yeah, you know when a other certain radio show got shut down here in the Bay. Yeah, we won't mention, but you know, I did my little research on the internet on my phone, and then boom, your face popped up, and all that time I didn't know you were in L.A. I was like, hey, I remember her. And so ever since then, I've been locked into radio out of L.A. So, Dominique, you know what it is. You know I always got love for you, my sister. I appreciate what you do. You're doing a wonderful job, and you always got my support. So keep doing your thing. Shout out to the whole KBLA family. And the one that's answering the phone for you, I don't know his name. He's doing a good job, too. Keep up the good work.
That's Andy.
Shout out to Miles.
Andy is filling in for Miles. He's running the board, answering the phone, making sure the right camera is on. He's multitasking, producing promos. Don't let the smile fool you. Andy and Miles be throwing down, and I'm grateful to have Andy on with me while Miles is taking a moment to go and do, perform. He's actually doing his rep thing. So,
okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Shout out to Miles, man, on the grind, man, doing the music thing. That's what's up. I'm going to stop yapping. Dominique DiPrima, I love you, my sister. Keep up the good work. God bless you and your family. And I'm sitting here right now and watching you on my TV, so I'm locked in. Keep up the good work.
I appreciate you so much. And we're just playing about the, east, north and south, like it's all California love. It's all California love around here. 800-920-1580. 800-920-1580. We've got Paul on the phone from LA. Good morning, Paul.
Good morning, Dominique. I had to call in. How you doing today?
I'm blessed. Great to hear your voice. How you doing?
Oh, okay. So we're gonna be a little combative here. So it's early morning, but I have to rush out the gym, by the way.
Oh, okay.
So I really wanted to have a discussion on this Kamala Harris situation and everything about. I guess people want to say the stench of Biden is the reason why she has an anvil in her anchor and can't run. The bigger problem, Dominique, from the 2024 election was turnout, right? And why did turnout end up that way, especially amongst black people? Mm-hmm. It happened that way because of misinformation and disinformation.
True.
A lot of people, especially here in California themselves, we lived the 90s crime bill. But I also know when Kamala was here, how she directly had the Back on Track program, which directly helped brothers get out of jail. My friends that I grew up in the hood with get out of jail that were put in jail just because they had weed in their pocket.
Yeah.
So when then let's talk about the foreclosure crisis that happened here. Kamala was directly responsible for going at those bad actors and suing them, and then pushing the money back into the homeowners that were basically robbed in the subprime mortgages. But you know why nobody knows about that? It's because people get their information from algorithms and misinformation and disinformation. We got to be better about communication. You know what Kamala was for around the Biden administration and pushing for? Child tax credit, which we knew had a direct responsibility of pulling half of our children out of poverty. So Newsom is performative. I'm substantive. Kamala is substantive. Kamala gets the job done. But you know what happened? People fell for the propaganda. And I know what wouldn't happen if Kamala Harris had won the election. Divestment from our community. Divestment from our marginalized. Divestment homelessness. She had a whole platform for home ownership that would have had a direct impact on black people. So the bigger issue is, why isn't that getting through to our community? And we stop giving the platform to the Umars, Tariq Nasheeds, and these people that are spewing misinformation.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Paul, I know you got to go to the gym, but if you want to talk on the other side of news, traffic, and sports, I welcome you to do so. Don't want to make you miss your gains, though. We got a hard stop right here.
Oh, I walked out the gym.
Okay, well, you can stay out just a few more minutes. KBLA Talk 1580.
Thanks for starting your morning off with a voice that speaks truth to power and the powerless, getting to the heart of what matters most in our community. This is where authentic conversation meets real action. From breaking news and politics to culture and community solutions, this is where you hear perspectives you won't hear anywhere else. This is where we come together, get informed, and make change happen. You're inside First Things First with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
You make my day.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. A man was arrested near the White House after burning an American flag in protest of President Trump's new executive order.
No Congress shall make a law infringing on First Amendment rights. I'm burning this flag as a protest to that illegal fascist president that sits in that house.
He claimed to be a combat veteran. U.S. Park Police charged him under a law banning fires in public parks. President Trump has fired Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook, the first black woman on the board, citing alleged false mortgage statements. President Trump says he has no confidence in her integrity. Cook denies any wrongdoing. And Lil Nas X pleaded not guilty to 4 felony charges after allegedly charging at police while nearly nude on Ventura Boulevard. His bail was set at $75,000 and he's free, and a judge ordered him to attend 4 Narcotics Anonymous meetings per week. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
In Mid-City, we have a multi-vehicle wreck still blocking the center lane of the 10 westbound at Crenshaw Boulevard, so expect to hit reduced speeds from Central Avenue as it looks like CHP is running a traffic break. Make your way to Hawthorne on the 105 eastbound after Crenshaw Boulevard. There is a crash, 2 left lanes blocked, so you're going to be seeing reduced speeds there as well. And in Redondo Beach, we have eyes on a car fire off to the right shoulder of the 405 southbound after Inglewood Avenue.
The Los Angeles Public Library offers free services for the whole family. With a library card, you can borrow movies and books for free. Visit lapl.org. That's lapl.org.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Angels manager Ron Washington met with his team before Monday night's game at Texas. He told his players he had quadruple bypass heart surgery on June 30th. It was the first time Washington spoke publicly about the health situation that forced him to leave the team on June 19th. The 73-year-old Washington, one of only 2 black managers in Major League Baseball, has been recovering at his home in New Orleans. Washington said he feels good, but he's been advised to sit out the remainder of the season. Washington hopes he can return next year. Bench coach Ray Montgomery will finish out the season as interim manager. After reconnecting with Washington, the Angels beat Texas 4-0. Venus Williams lost her first-round match Monday night in the U.S. Open to Karolina Muchova of Czechoslovakia. Muchova beat the 45-year-old Williams in 3 sets, 6-3, 2-6, and 6-1. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
At the tone, please record your message.
You ready? Drop it! Mr. Tavis Smiley, preach it. Thank you, man. Politics in this country is crazy. You put things in perspective that even I didn't. The right is playing fast and loose with facts and scapegoating everyone under the sun, especially black and brown people. As a white man, I do not agree with this, and I am on my black and brown brothers and sisters' side. Fight the good fight. Know that I am part of the resistance. Let's fight the power.
Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
Hi, I'm LA City Councilmember Curran Price, inviting you to the 30th anniversary of the Central Avenue Jazz Festival, Saturday, September the 20th, from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. We've got 4 pavilions, 3 stages of live music, plus food, fun, and a marketplace all along historic Central Avenue between MLK Boulevard and Vernon Ave. Our featured acts this year are Gregory Porter, Pancho Sanchez, and Jasmine Horn at the 30th anniversary of the Central Avenue Jazz Festival, Saturday, September 20th, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. along Central Avenue between MLK Boulevard and Vernon Avenue. Come out and bring the whole family because this legendary celebration is free. For more information, go to centralavjazzfest.com. I'm LA Councilmember Curran Price, and I absolutely approve this message.
Nearly 7 million Americans aged 65 and older are living with Alzheimer's disease, also known as AD, a type of dementia that affects memory, thinking, and behavior, making everyday tasks challenging. But did you know that black adults aged 65 and older are twice as likely as white adults to develop AD? There are things you can do to help reduce your risk for developing AD. Managing conditions like diabetes and high blood pressure is crucial. Staying physically active, maintaining social connections, eating a healthy diet, and keeping your mind engaged with activities like reading or puzzles can all contribute to brain health. It's also important to recognize some common signs and symptoms of early AD, such as forgetfulness that causes problems with everyday life, asking the same question a few times in a row, and difficulty concentrating on basic tasks. If you see these signs in yourself or a loved one, don't wait. Early diagnosis and intervention are key to managing AD effectively. To learn more about AD and a potential treatment option, visit treatallzearly.com. That's treatallzearly.com. This message is brought to you by AZI.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. If you need help getting your resume in order, finding job training, or landing a job, we've got 3 great options for you. First, the City of Los Angeles has WorkSource centers across the area offering free job support. The California Workforce Development Board can help you with everything from GED prep to vocational training at no cost to you. On the federal level, the Department of Labor's American Job Centers offer a full range of services for job seekers and businesses alike. Visit careeronestop.org, or for more info, just call California's Help Center or visit cwdb.ca.gov or call 916-657-1440. For the City of Los Angeles programs, go to ewd.lacity.gov or call 213-744-7300. All these services are free to help you get your next job. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm waiting for answers. I got my hands up. Are you sleepless like me too? Or caught up in the perfect dream? Do you long for me? Or do you walk alone? Okay, I'll wait for you in this lonely city. 'Cause I ain't waiting, please open the door. I'll chase you through my dreams until you're close to me. All through the winding roads, I feel you calling to my soul.
What would it take for you to get on board with me? To take some different train of thought? It could be something more, and then we find ourselves lost in
KBLA Talk 1580. That's from Foreverland. That's the latest by Keon Harold, who's joining us live in the studio in hour 3. Woo! Looking forward to that. Looking forward to talking to you right now, too, at 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. So Paul Lee called in. He's, if Molly Bell is the chairwoman of the chat room, Paul Lee is probably the vice chair of the chat. In any case, they're saying you should run for governor, Paul. in the chat, they're saying Paul Lee for governor. Not mad at that. But you were talking about Kamala Harris and the mis and disinformation, the talking points. I mean, it's a more compressed version of what happened with Hillary Clinton, because Hillary Clinton was First Lady and then she was Secretary of State, and so they had lots of time on the right to talk about how she was supposedly molesting kids at pizzerias and all the crazy things that were attached to her name. And you were addressing my comment and the polling showing that Californians prefer Gavin Newsom for president than Kamala Harris. At this point, we know it's still early, et cetera, et cetera. And also the widely sort of spread talking point on a Talking Point Tuesday that Harris carries the baggage of the Biden administration, and so she would not make a good candidate for 2024. You were making the case why that's not true in your opinion.
Yes, and I want to say this is the problem with this is we an administration, their first term, inherits the previous administration's economy. And what transpired? COVID. If you look at globally, there a lot of incumbents, majority of the incumbents lost their elections. Why? Because people go based on how they feel. They don't think rationally. They go on how they feel. And how do we know that? The administration, the Biden administration, literally had job reports showing that more and more people were getting jobs, right? That's the economy.
Mm-hmm.
In real time, we're watching right now, not only is the cost of everything is up, but people are losing jobs. But you don't see the same smoke. You know why? Because people are only as the ghouls of the information that they're getting through algorithms and through the media, because the media isn't talking about it. But yet you can see if you go to the grocery store how much more things cost. And I'm not here just to call about the problems, but more the solutions. See, here's the problem, Dominique. People start things from a red-blue situation, Democrat, Republican. I don't care for either one of those people. But what I care about more than anything else first is my people, black people. I care about our economic. I care about our empowerment, right? But what I really care about is what is our strategy. And not voting is only a part of the work. We should be starting bottom up, not top down. We come together with those that get it, right? And hopefully others come along the way. Your locals, every election is 2 years. Sometimes you have special elections that within a year. Every 2 to 4 years. See, the difference with Republicans is they start bottom up, and their job is not get your vote. Their job is to spread enough misinformation and disinformation that you don't go vote. And if you give that up, like it's crazy to me is how we can look at our babies and say everything is fine. But now we're looking at medical centers that are going to close, people that are going to lose their jobs, and now our children that can't eat at schools. So tell me how good did that work out that you didn't go vote? If black people had shown up just even 60%, Kamala wins. But you know what we did? Some of us decided to listen to the misinformation and disinformation instead of taking the time to research it yourself. Do you know why the student loan forgiveness happened? It's because Kamala pushed Joe Biden on it. Who directly did that have an impact on? People that look like me and you, Dominique, because I was from that generation of kids that got student loans.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's more. I think, the On Track program is a good example. She was a prosecutor, so she prosecuted people. But what folks don't understand is that before progressive prosecutor was even a thing, and before alternatives to incarceration was as widely popular as it is now in California, she was already starting that. And so, you're right. People don't do the research. But I also know how, from so many years on this mic and being vilified myself, 1 minute I'm a hero, next minute I'm the villain, that people are very, very trendy when it comes to consciousness. That pack consciousness mentality is a real thing. I remember when 9/11 happened. I was on the air then. Yes, I was. I was still on the air back then. And all of a sudden, it didn't matter what the facts were, right? Everyone was just following this mentality. And anyone that appeared to be Muslim was under attack. You couldn't criticize the government. You couldn't have an alternative viewpoint, question why we were invading. We were blaming Iran and and in fact, Saudis were behind the attack. You couldn't. It's like that mentality, Paul. It's hard to break through that pack mentality, especially now when it's boosted on steroids by social media.
Dominique, I had a father that me and my younger brothers grew up without because he served this country. He came home to a country that did not love him, and he had a heart attack. My mother worked for the Postal Service, got hit by a screw in her head, got knocked unconscious, and they fired her. And on her way out, she had a pile of medical bills that she could not afford.
Dang.
So when I talk about grievances, I live them. But you know what the difference was with our grandparents and our forefathers before us is they didn't just sit back. They got active. And the problem is more people need to touch grass. We have so many people that are now single issue people. Like that one issue is all they care about. Well, how are you going to implement that issue? If there's no legislation, you don't get that done. But if your response is, well, I just don't care, I won't vote, then why would anybody care about you? But if we have over 2 million of us here, if we were to even vote 60 to 70% of our people, look at how strong of a voting block that is. But then understand again, I'm sorry, I know you have other callers. Understand this also. Voting is only a part of the work. Are you showing up for the school board meetings? Are you showing up for your district council meetings? Hi, everybody. I'm in District 8, Marquise Harris Dawson's district. We had a meeting yesterday. Every third Monday of the month, we have a meeting. Show up. Thank you for your time, Dominique.
Yeah, thank you, Paul. I mean, always with great points. That's the answer to a lot of things, for sure. And you're right, it's not the only thing. That's why I say join an organization. If you don't want to join an organization, volunteer with several. That's what I typically do. And I've always had that philosophy because I'm usually on a mainstream media outlet. So I like to lend my services, talents, volunteer time to many different organizations. But if not, join one because we're multiplied. Yeah, we are much stronger than singly. And all of that, everything you said, I agree with, Paul. I still don't think Kamala should run again for president now, though. She's still going to be young enough in 2032. I don't think this is the moment. I don't, but if she runs, you know, I probably would support her. I just don't think it's the best thing for her or for the country right now. And her and Gavin Newsom are not the only choices, by the way. 800-920-1580, that's the number Paul called. You can do the same. Continuing the conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
The station you turn to when you've had it up to gear with cultural incompetence. KBLA Talk 1580.
Imagine a world without heart disease and stroke, where every person has the chance to live a full and healthy life. Join us for a walk to save lives at the American Heart Association's Greater Los Angeles Heart and Stroke Walk, Saturday, September 20th at the Rose Bowl. Every step made and every dollar raised means more people learning CPR, more life-saving research, and more time with the ones we love. Sign up at heartwalkla.org. The LA Heart and Stroke Walk is sponsored by Optum, UCLA Health, Keck Medicine of USC, and Dignity Health.
Sometimes an identity threat is a ring of professional hackers. And sometimes it's an overworked accountant who forgot to encrypt their connection while sending bank details.
I need a coffee.
And you need LifeLock, because your info is in endless places. It only takes one mistake to expose you to identity theft. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hi, I'm LA City Councilmember Curran Price, inviting you to the 30th anniversary of the Central Avenue Jazz Festival, Saturday, September the 20th, from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. We've got 4 pavilions, 3 stages of live music, plus food, fun, and a marketplace all along historic Central Avenue between MLK Boulevard and Vernon Ave. Our featured acts this year are Gregory Porter, Pancho Sanchez, and Jasmine Horn at the 30th anniversary of the Central Avenue Jazz Festival, Saturday, September 20th, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. along Central Avenue between MLK Boulevard and Vernon Avenue. Come out and bring the whole family because this legendary celebration is free. For more information, go to centralavjazzfest.com. I'm LA Councilmember Curran Price, and I absolutely approve this message.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where hate meets a scholarly match.
It does indeed. Paul called me at 800-920-1580, and I encourage you to do the same if you've got something to say. Also, I remind you, don't forget to tap in on our social media. You can find us at KBLA 1580 everywhere. And you can find me at DiPrima Radio, DIPRIMA, and then radio, most places, including TikTok. I have a TikTok account now, Andy, and TikTok turns out to be kind of fun. So, yeah, I actually am on there somewhat, but Instagram is still my fave. I have a fan base account, too, now. Tap in. Blue Sky. I have like 12 followers on that. But, hey, we there. So this is weird to me. Beverly Hills High School is going to vote this evening on whether or not they will fly Israeli flags for the month of May to support Jewish students at the school and to combat anti-Semitism. And it's a controversial vote. Beverly Hills High is a public school. Students of all different backgrounds, religious and ethnic, and even of some variation in socioeconomic backgrounds go there. But they are voting, and it seems like it's going to pass because the board members are all supporting it. to fly the Israeli flag. And I have two questions about that. Is there some other symbol they could fly that would say, we stand with the Jewish faith and we stand against hate? Maybe like LA Civil Rights, LA is for everyone flags or something from the LA Civil Rights Department. Because a lot of people would stand against hate and stand with Jewish people, their faith, their ethnicity, their traditions, but don't stand with the Israeli government, the Netanyahu government specifically, and the genocide they're currently wrecking upon the Gaza Strip, and also the starvation, right? So that's question number one. And then question number two is, are we still banning Black History Month, Latino Heritage Month, Pride, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? All of those things we're not supposed to do according to the Trump administration. And while I'm pretty sure they would give you a pass to fly an Israeli flag, it seems ironic that you would be raising a foreign flag while banning the America First, LGBTQ plus, America First, Black, Latino, et cetera, et cetera. Well, those are my questions. And I think they're important questions if we are to make sure that this action doesn't cause more problems for Jewish students. I would think it could, because people would say, "Oh, you're banning Black History Month, but now in May we're flying an Israeli flag. Oh, you're banning LGBTQ plus Pride celebrations, but it's okay to celebrate the Israeli government." And since y'all like to confuse people and make them think that the Israeli government is the same as the Jewish faith or the Jewish people, then that seems like it can cause more problems. Just to be clear, the Israeli government is the government of a country. Jewish is a faith and an ethnicity. That's one of the things that makes it confusing, because you can be Jewish and not what the ethnicity that people consider Jewish, but you can also be Jewish ethnically and not observant traditionally. Okay, all that said, those questions have to be answered, and it's just, it seems awfully suspect, especially at a time when this administration is just going after schools for anti-Semitism. But that anti-Semitism includes in its definition anti-Israeli critique. And it's so intellectually dishonest. There are lots of people that have great love for the Jewish community and admiration of the traditions of Jewish activism and fighting for human rights, who do not sign off on what the Israeli government is doing, and the Netanyahu administration in particular. Meanwhile, the Republicans are going after not just UCLA, but now have included the medical schools at UCLA and UC San Francisco in their so-called investigations into anti-Semitism. Again, at the same time, you're shutting down the Civil Rights Department of the Department of Justice, shutting down all investigations on discrimination against Black people, Latinos, Asians. Y'all were mad about the Stop Asian Hate bill because I think it's because most people misunderstood it, but whatever. It's gone, effectively gone now. The only civil rights investigations that are currently going on under this administration are suspicion of white people having been discriminated against because of either immigration or affirmative action, and anti-Semitism. Make it make sense. It's true that hate crimes are up against Jewish people. They call them anti-Semitic hate crimes, and many of them are just that. But it's also, when those numbers come from the ADL, you have to wonder, are they including acts of protest against Israel? Because those are not hate crimes. Those are anti-war protests. So you really got to read the fine print here at this point in history. And I hate that people are being so intellectually dishonest, but at the same time, I'm grateful that folks are so much more sophisticated now than they were, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, about world affairs. It's such a weird balance. At the same time, people are more well-read. They're also more subject to mis and disinformation. So now we know, it's confirmed, it's official, that there is famine in Gaza City. Famine, being designated as an official famine, is very rare. This is according to the UN chief. He calls it a failure of humanity, a man-made disaster. The Integrated Food Security Phase Classification, IPC, says it's officially a famine in Gaza. But, we could see that with our own eyes. It's just that now this is actually categorized, and that's something that's very rare. It says 500,000 people there are facing catastrophic conditions of starving. Israel, meanwhile, calls it an outright lie. That's what they say. Don't believe your eyes, believe our propaganda. Is that a reason to hate Jewish people? No, not at all. Is it a reason to oppose the war, oppose the Israeli government? Absolutely. The Netanyahu administration? Absolutely. And so to say they are one and the same is just not honest. It's not the truth. It's allowing cover by virtue of propaganda for atrocities. Sound familiar? We got news, traffic, and sports right now. You're welcome to call me, 800-920-1580. I'm Dominique DiPrima for Unapologetically Progressive KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. After 12 days without a murder in D.C., White House aide Stephen Miller praised President Trump.
President Trump has literally set the people of Washington, D.C. free. They're so happy now that they can just go out and live their lives, go to their favorite restaurant, go to their favorite bar.
D.C. Police Union says crime is down, robbery by 42% and violent crime by 25% since the National Guard arrived. Friday, August 29th marks 20 years since Hurricane Katrina devastated the Gulf Coast, killing over 1,800 people, mostly in New Orleans, after levee failures. The disaster exposed major government failures.